Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Bad Dates Podcast. I'm your host, Joel Kim Booster, back again in the studio this week with another amazing panel of comedian storytellers who are about to unload all of their relationship trauma for your enjoyment. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, this episode, which is crazy because it's like truly, we're in the hundreds, guys. Go back, be a completionist. But this podcast is exactly what it sounds like from the title. I bring in some of my funniest friends. We shoot the shit and talk about their bad dating stories. And bad dates here can mean a number of things. They can mean actual dates. They can be relationships, terrible marriages, hookups. We run the full spectrum here. Now, without further ado, I'm going to get into our introducing our comedians. But before I do, I want to pose a question. Here we have our famous icebreakers. A panel of relationship experts have come up with a couple hundred questions that you can ask your partner or date to better establish your compatibility. And today's question is, what's the biggest difference of opinion you and a partner have had over a TV show or movie? And to start us off, joining me today is a comedian who has appeared on Comedy Central, The Tonight Show, and After Midnight, and is currently on tour around the country, the very, very funny Laura Peak. Hello, Laura.
Hi, Joel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Next, we have a comedian and actor from The Wolf of Wall Street and The Conners. Wow. That's range. His new Audible series is Searching for Alan Rothbart. It is Barry Rothbart. Hello, Barry.
You mean a range of years.
And finally, we welcome a comedian and writer from the from Southside, the show. Okay. And energetically also from the city of Chicago. And Grownish and his own Comedy Central special, Will Miles. Welcome. One of my oldest friends in comedy. Yeah. Such a joy to have you here. So, Laura, we'll start with you. What is the biggest difference of opinion you have had with a partner or date or somebody over media consumption? What's the show? What's the movie?
The thing that immediately pops into my head was maybe not my biggest one, but my most salient example happened most recently. Was we're on a pretty constant, like nonstop Sex and the City rewatch in my household, and my husband loves Sex and the City. He's grown to love it over time. But recently, I came back from the bathroom and he had changed the channel. And I got pissed and I was like, what's going on? What happened to your love of Sex and the City? And he goes, Carrie was making it about her and I couldn't stand it.
That's such an interesting note to have for the show when in fact it is sort of the premise of the show.
The whole thing. Yeah. I think it was like a season 5 episode. I was like, are we not used to this by now? She's obviously making it.
Completely desensitized to it by a couple seasons in. And what did he change it to? Do you remember?
I don't remember. He might have flipped it off. He might have started reading a book. I think she made him that angry that he went to analog.
When someone's narcissism drives you to read, that is serious.
He learned how to read that night.
Have you touch base with the real author?
Yeah. Have you picked it back up? Have you returned, or has it sort of put it
always.
off?
It's on a loop. And I was kind of making him sit through a lot of Just Like That recently.
Tough.
Yeah.
I'm more into those.
I mean,
the more recent ones.
Yes.
They're much better.
They're so much better than the original. Yeah. Everybody says that. Everybody knows that.
Everything you want, everything you need.
You guys are aware it's the producers, right? It has to be.
The producers.
Yeah, like
show?
the producers,
the show,
the Mel Brooks musical.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I feel like it's just like
they made it deliberately bad.
Yeah, and then people loved it.
To kill Nazis?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Is that what the producers is about?
I don't think so.
It had to do with killing Nazis, right?
I'm thinking of Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
So does Just Like That.
Easy mistake. Barry, while we're on you, what is the biggest media difference you've had with a partner?
So, slight backstory. I recently tried weed juice.
Weed juice?
My friend gave me juice that has weed in it.
Oh, yeah.
And
hugely innovative.
I didn't know how much to take because edibles, I'm just like, you could either not be high at all or ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
And I took a little too much and we started watching the Great British Bake Off.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it ruined the show for me.
Why?
Because I saw the sadness behind it. I started to see how dark it was. And it's my wife's favorite show, and now I cannot watch it.
So can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Can you explain the sadness the darkness that you see in that delightful show?
So I was having a full-on panic attack, first of all.
Okay.
And
it's such a calm show.
I'll say no.
There's
Not the
barely
show's
any
fault.
tension.
That's what scares me
It's
about
definitely
it.
related to the drugs.
And I saw that this is the biggest thing these people are ever going to do in their lives.
Right.
And they're so stressed about it. And it never quite goes the way that they want.
Yeah.
And they have to stay cheery because it's such a cheery, like calm show. And you could just see these people just going insane. And then I just closed my eyes for a while.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like a nice reprieve from a lot of other reality shows, though, where
Yes.
it's really not about the
There's
drama?
no drama
No.
at all.
There
Yeah,
is no
there's
drama.
none. Yeah.
And in fact, early seasons of that show, the hosts, if a contestant was crying or having an emotional breakdown, would go near her and start using the F word over and over and over and over again so they couldn't use the footage of the contestant crying.
Wow, that's good.
One of my
That's good.
favorite little tidbits.
Which
from the
F
show.
word, by the way? No, I'm just-
Oh, your cake collapsed. You little... Do it. No, I don't want to lose any sponsors. That's a really great answer, Barry.
And you know what I started to see though? That they were the whole time they're like, this is the one thing I'm going to talk about for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're never going to top that.
No, it is true. I mean, but like, what's the thing that you're talking about for the rest of your life? Still fucking Wolf of Wall Street? Like,
Jesus, man. You invited me on here. What do you want from me?
Joel
I'm
did
like
have to
opening
look
my
down
heart
at his
here
phone.
about
wait to hear
huge
about
panic attack.
the new Audible series. Finally, Will Miles, we had your wife, Julia Rossi,
Hell yeah,
on the
hell
show a couple weeks ago. It could be about her, it could be about a different partner from the past, but like, what is a media dispute you've had?
by the way, you're an integral part of our relationship.
I know,
knows that.
we
All right, yeah,
covered
good,
it.
all right.
We
Yeah,
covered
good,
it.
good,
We
good.
covered it.
He's like the almost the Cyrano, not really, but like you were going back
I
and
really
forth.
was going back and forth.
You were going back and
because
forth,
you
yeah.
needed to be juiced up a little
I
bit.
did, I
You
did.
needed to be gassed up.
I
a little
did.
bit.
I really did. I was like, okay, for real, I should actually holler at her, whatever. Yeah, that happened. That's
He
true.
helped you pursue
He
her.
helped me
Yeah.
pursue.
Oh,
her. Yeah, yeah,
that's beautiful.
All right.
He didn't like write what I said to her, like the movie Cyrano.
Could
Like,
never.
play, but
Could never.
it would be great if you
Could never
did.
write in your
That would be
voice.
funny though. I kind of want to do that now. It's way off. We have a lot of differences. Just she likes documentaries about missing women, like the Amy Bradley story, which I never watched, and I was like, I'm not interested. But I like you, so I like serial killer stuff.
You
And so-
don't like it when there's a chance they could come home.
Yeah, I want them dead.
Yeah.
Wanna
But I
know.
want to know the science behind what led that guy to do that. So I like you. She never wants to watch you, and she watches like Amy Bradley. So I never want to watch that. But the thing that brought us together is probably, and I know this isn't exactly the problem, but like that one about the mom who was texting her daughter.
Oh my God.
Unknown number.
Oh, I just watched that.
That was great because I knew ahead of time that it was the mom. So
Oh, I
I'm
knew
watching
nothing.
it, and I'm like, that's the motherfucker right there. Like, what is she doing? She's crazy.
Why
Yeah.
did you agree to this?
Yeah, so she's like a psychopath in a way. So I was like watching it from that perspective, and she was like,
I'm with you. I
Yeah.
actually, except I don't like it when they're murdered or go missing. Really,
Yeah, not in real life,
But
yeah.
I do love like there was the one about the cremation guy who was just cremating a bunch of bodies and
mortician.
mixing up
Yeah.
all the ashes. Which, to be
Fantastic.
quite frank, like. Who gives a shit? Like I was
on
watching,
your
I
side.
was
Yeah.
watching the whole time, and I was like, "Yeah, like you shouldn't have done that." But ultimately, like,
not a big
an ash is an ash. Is an ash.
It's like,
It's gonna
oh,
be
he's
dust
like-
anyway.
Yeah.
He's like waving with their dead arms.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what? Who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
they're dead.
You gotta have fun.
But no, I love that. I love like Mommy Dead and Dearest. I guess
She watched
someone
that
did
too.
die.
I didn't watch that one, yeah.
Or the one about the girl who like was like anything with like teens being mean over text.
yeah, the like suicide thing?
Yes,
Yeah, I feel
yes,
like we
yes,
shouldn't
yes,
say it.
yes. You knew exactly what I was
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Those
The S
are
word.
those are the
The
ones.
S word.
Those
But also, I did have a girl. I was having sex, and I had Chris Rock's
Whoa.
"Never Scared" in the background, like 15 years ago, and the girl didn't like that I had that on in the background.
well, yeah, I can see where she's coming from.
Yeah.
She was
I can
correct,
see
but
where
that was
she's
like a
coming from.
dispute over a thing I
This is a
had
good
on.
bad day story, but I accidentally remember when iTunes you would just load all your stuff into
Yeah, yeah,
iTunes.
yeah.
I was having sex and a set I recorded the day before where I bombed.
Oh, that's
No,
Where just I was like performing for like 4 people in some bar in the
yeah.
East Village. It
Yeah.
came on while we were having sex and I left it.
perfect.
oh,
Perfect. I love it. And she
Finished
was
immediately.
mostly
She
so
was
slick.
it's
Yeah.
so fast.
It was hot.
I mean, my answer to this question is kind of boring because I feel like it's a pretty common one in a lot of relationships, but it is Bravo. Like, he
Yeah.
is not interested. in it at all, except he will watch like the ones where they have jobs. He likes watching the ones where they have like something to do, like Below Deck, for instance.
That's
he loves Below Deck because he's like, I enjoy watching them work. And I'm like, well, the housewives are also at work at the Drama Factory, okay? Bad dates. We are going to turn now to our very first storyteller, the very, very funny Laura Peak. Laura, before you dive into your story that you have prepared for us today, why don't you give us a little bit of background on where you're at right now, love-wise? What was your style leading up to that? Were you a serial monogamist? Were you a big old time slut? Give me some of the context.
I'm glad you put it that. I was going to use those exact words. A big slut for so many years. But I have been married my husband last year, almost actually to the day, a year ago, almost to the day. And we will have been together for 11 years on our anniversary. That's crazy. So monogamous for 11 years with my husband since we were 23, 24.
Okay. Wow. Did you get it in before that?
I got it so in. And we both got it so deeply and horribly in the entire time. I'm proud of both of us. I really sowed my wild oats. I went to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. I mean, what are we talking about? So yeah, it was very free, very slutty, very fun, and then locked in and am now happy.
Well,
and married.
You can't argue with that tone of voice. I'm very happy.
Well, no, I haven't. He would never be mad about me saying this, but I do have a joke that I'm working on right now about how I used to have sex with women, and I do miss that a lot. I am like gayer than I thought I was, I think. And so I said to him, like, can I just like do that occasionally? And he was like, are you asking me if you can just like have affairs with women? And I was like,
well, it's not an affair if you're asking for permission.
If I'm asking. But he famously said, the fact that you don't think that's cheating is homophobic, which I think is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That is funny.
And he's right. Anyway, no, very happily married, but I've been together a long time, was a big old slut before then.
Yeah.
And both of these, I'm going to tell one little tale and then one larger tale.
An amuse-bouche.
Yeah, that's right. Both of a little tasty taste. Both of them from my college years.
Love.
I just think this is a beautiful portrait that I want to paint for you. So I dated this guy before I got with my husband, and he was gorgeous, but we hated each other so much. It was like a 2-year relationship. Fucking just really despised each other. He thought I was gross. I thought he was a dick. He was so pretty. Yeah. He was so beautiful. He had the most gorgeous eyes you've ever seen. Beautiful eyelashes. I hope he's listening. He doesn't talk to me anymore. But one time after he broke up with me for like the 6th or 7th time, just one of those relationships where it was just like you were constantly out the door. He broke up with me like the 6th or 7th time, and I started hooking up with my now husband.
Love.
And we kind of realized we had kind of been in love for a minute. We had been around each other for a long time, known each other since we were like 15. But I'm hooking up with my husband for one of the first times, and I was blowing him in my room in my college home, and it was raining outside, and there's a knock at the window, and I pull back the curtain, and my ex is standing there just soaking wet, just watching me blow. It was like dick and my face is like what he could see.
It's like the worst version of Say Anything.
Please say nothing.
Yeah, say nothing.
Oh my God.
Say less.
And you had broken up with him by this point.
Oh yeah, he had broken up with me. This was one of the many instances.
So what was he doing?
He was. It was that same thing where it was like somebody who was totally disinterested in you, like really did not like me at all.
They don't want it. They also don't want anyone else to have it.
That was the biggest thing, is that he realized it was happening with somebody else.
That is like textbook narcissist behavior for sure.
How long was he out there?
I really, that's a very good question. Before he decided to knock, because I'm sure he saw like the shadows playing on the wall.
Yeah,
he was like quite some time.
Him knocking, that's the craziest part.
I know, and he hadn't been trying to get in touch with me. This was just like like no missed calls, nothing like that. He was just rapping on my window. He literally
like sat straight up in bed and said, "She's blowing someone."
That's what I was wondering.
Did you leave?
She has a dick in her mouth right now.
Did you leave it in your mouth as you opened the window?
I did. I said,
Incredible. You're right. This really did paint a picture.
This is a situation in which I started my relationship. I wanted you to know that. But this before that. We met. My dick was already in his mouth. I said, hello, I love you. But this other story was in college. I got very infatuated with this young man. I can't remember his name, which I think is good.
Yeah, we wouldn't have used it anyways.
Oh, we can't use names? Oh.
We probably would have bleeped it.
I can't remember his name, but he was so pretty. He was like such a pretty boy, and he was really sort of like straight edge. And I was like a big partier, and we just from the moment I saw this guy, I was like, we have absolutely nothing in common. You're blonde. He was very tall, very put together, very like ripped, just so good looking and so different from me. But I was obsessed with him. I was like, you're sexy. And we would talk all the time at parties. We would like kind of flirt. He was dumb as a rock. I think I was just thinking I was funny, and he was maybe putting up with it. But we would always talk. We would always like chit chat. And I was like, clearly this guy wants to fuck me. Is that time in your life where you're like, I'm 20, I have huge cans, and I'm fun? Like, there's no man alive.
Literally.
There's not a straight man alive that doesn't want to have sex with me. That was truly the tenor of like so much of my. It's a really bad way to think about your life.
But also not wrong.
Yeah,
and like, it is like that thing of like, yeah, every person wants to have sex with you at that time, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. So at least I'm gonna own that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And there's enough time when it's disturbing that I'm gonna make it fun when it benefits me. So I just kind of would throw myself at him all the time. I was like always around him and just being like, clearly he wants to like hook up or whatever. And there was one night where I flirted really hard with him. I had just gone through a breakup. I was like, this is it. We're gonna fuck. This will be great. Been waiting for it. Whatever. I follow him around just ceaselessly for an entire like party evening, just assuming that he's like into it. I'm paying attention to no cues. I'm really being kind of a straight guy about this. Absolutely not taking in his utter disinterest in me. And then he's like, I think he was like, I guess, do you like want to go back to my place? Like, it seems like you're going to anyway.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was not like a can't wait to fuck you thing. And we get to his house and I'm still so deluded about it. And we're like in his bed. My butt is on his dick for like, where you kind of.
And then you open
like
the curtain.
in a spoon situation? In a spoon situation.
I was
the
begging
curtain
opens. For it. In heat. Just like throwing it at him. And I remember like kind of sobering up as we're sitting there. I think we probably did some drugs. Yeah. And sobering up and just being like, you fucking idiot. This guy like does not want to have sex. Like this would have happened in any context before now.
Yeah. It's like, why, I guess like, why did he take you home? I guess like you had no idea you were on the bench that night. And then you got called up from the minors.
I guess so.
Why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can answer this.
What, Barry?
There's
why?
a weird fantasy that every man has is that you just will be asked to have sex.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, let's go do this right now.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I can't pass up. That could happen never again.
Yeah.
And you're just like, someone just goes, it's happened to me once. And it worked. I had sex.
Sure.
But it was like the coolest thing. They were just like, do you want to have sex? And I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
That's you're
really
just like
so easy.
Just ask. Yeah.
I guess I did everything
so
but
cool.
say, hey, will you please fuck me?
Yeah.
But the situation was so clearly.
You were like a fucking dog, like rubbing your ass on the carpet, just like scooting.
You said he was dumb as a rock, though, right?
He was very stupid.
Yeah. So that
very
could
stupid,
be-
very studious, but very stupid.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so we sat there for an hour, and I was like, "This is the most humiliating thing in the world." And then I did fall asleep with my ass in his crotch. Wow. And he
You were like, get your head out of that book and get your head into this puss.
Get out of that book.
and into my bush. No, okay. We do not have sex. I end up falling asleep. I wake up the following morning. There's no one. It's 8 a.m. on a Saturday. We had partied until like 4 a.m. He is sitting in his desk studying.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
And I hear him drop a pencil. He drops a pencil as he's writing something. And he goes, "Oh my goodness!" And I was like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here." The "oh my goodness" threw me so far over the edge. Where I was
Oh
like,
my
"What are you
goodness.
trying to do
He's
to this poor
Stephanie
man?"
from Full House.
Yeah. He doesn't fuck anybody.
Oh shucks. Oh
That
golly
is
gee.
so funny. Wait, I just love that. Like, that is probably the worst thing that happened to him that day. Just dropping that pencil. Oh, that is like,
my goodness.
It really is. And then he had a 45-minute conversation with his mom that patched it all right up. He was just such a good boy. No.
no, oh God.
He's a kindergarten teacher.
He probably is.
He's on podcasts talking about his pencil falling one time.
I think vibe is definitely more important, and like is square peg round hole
It was.
sort of situation.
Yes, he was a very square peg
Yeah.
who ignored my round hole.
I was like, teeing it up. I was like, where is it? There we go. There we go.
He had a square dick. That's what we're saying.
Square
Yeah.
Bad dates. Bad dates.
Turning now next to our next comedian, storyteller, Barry Rothbart. Same question as Laura. You alluded to your wife earlier. How long have you been together?
Well, our 9-year marriage anniversary is tomorrow.
Whoa, happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Isn't that
Oh,
crazy?
shit.
Yeah. We've been together for 16 years.
Jesus.
Never cheated. Came close.
Kind of weird you brought that up.
Never cheated.
Not a standard
Grace.
question we ask on the
Grace is
pod, I have to
listening.
tell you.
Did you say gotten close? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he said.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
I've never. I'm just saying that's it's more of an achievement if you've gotten close.
Oh.
Right?
It's really funny.
No, I haven't gotten close to cheating, but I've been offered. I've been. We can move on from that.
No, this is
Barry Rothbart, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so it's been 16 years. Before that, I had a good period of time where I was like in New York, being the like comic, having a bunch of sex.
And that's when I knew you in New York. That's what I assumed you were doing.
Really?
That's the vibe
Why?
you gave off. I don't know, because I just thought every fucking scumbag I was doing open mics with was doing that.
Wow.
a lot of them
and-
were.
Yeah. Just by default. I mean, if you were in the back of Pine Box Rock Shop on a Wednesday night, you were a scumbag to me.
I had sex after Pine Box.
Yeah, I know. We all did. Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, it was like Karma Lounge, and then you
Oh,
go across the
yeah,
street to
yeah,
Lit.
yeah.
That was like the big. That was like how you do it. Yeah,
Just reeking of hookah.
so good.
Yeah. So those were the days. Anyways, so you've been together for 16 years.
16 years. Yeah,
Married for 9.
9.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Wow. And how did you meet her?
she came to a show, and she approached me afterwards.
She's a chuckle fucker.
She is.
Where does your story take place in your timeline?
So my story is actually way before this. A little bit of background. This is sort of dating. It's about a sex worker, but it has nothing to do with my wife.
And as I said, it all
a
counts.
little
here.
bit of background, which you should have promoted earlier on. I have this podcast about my dad,
Well,
and my dad.
I literally said it. I said his new Audible series is searching for Alan Rothbart. What else am I supposed to fucking say about it?
Oh, I didn't know you said that. I just heard Wolf of Wall Street in the corner. Sorry.
Yeah, you got
I
caught
take
up
that
in your
back.
own credit.
I got distracted.
Wolf of Wall Street. That's a good movie.
Wow.
So this is pre Wolf of Wall Street, and I was turning 19. It was my 19th birthday. My dad. Long story short, I found out he was in the mob when I was a teenager, and he was like a criminal.
Tune into
And-
Audible.
Yeah, this is a lot about. It's about me like investigating who he was and stuff. But he was like this gregarious mob guy, and I was not. But I was like in that world a lot. And on my 19th birthday, I was going to Atlantic City with my friend Danny, and my dad gives me $200, and he says, "Son, you should get a hooker tonight."
And had you lost your virginity at this point?
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool dad.
Yeah.
Very
He was a
cool.
cool dad.
Very cool.
Cool dad.
And he was like, "Son, do it." And I said, "Yes, Papa." And he looked at me. I said, "Anything for you, Papa." And I was like, $200. What am I going to do with the other 100? Like, I had no idea. I had no idea about any of this.
Why would you?
Yeah. So,
Child.
and I was like, "Is this for both of us? Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
So I assumed it was. So we go into this room, and he would get big rooms because he was a degenerate gambler. I thought he was like, just rich, but it turns out if you suck at gambling, they give you free rooms
Yeah.
in Atlantic
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
So we had this big room, and we were like, "Let's do it." And we opened the cabinets, and we started drinking vermouth straight.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
We didn't know what it was. We were just like, this is cool. So we just drank vermouth, and we look in the yellow pages for hooker, and we didn't know how to do it.
That
We were
was
just
like, I mean, this was going to be my first question is that, like I'm assuming like pre the internet the way we know it now.
Yeah.
Like, were they in the yellow pages?
Well, I didn't know. Well, first of all, we went downstairs to look to see if we could find a hooker
And you
near the
approached a few
casino.
women.
And like, what?
You are very
People don't realize is
insulted.
that
I'm a mother.
everyone in Atlantic City looks like a
Yeah,
hooker.
yeah.
So we were just like, we can't just approach random people. So we looked in the yellow pages under hooker. There was nothing. And then we looked under prostitute. There was nothing. And then escort. We found a place, and we basically called like the first one on the list, like AAA escorts or something, whatever was alphabetically the first one. And we were like, we would love.
I prefer a double D.
Yeah. It was like Jimmy's Hookers or whatever.
Yeah.
Jimmy's Escorts. And we, we called and they were like, hi, would you, what do you need? And we were like, oh, we'd love a hooker. And they were like, and they were like, oh, you mean an escort? And we were like, yeah, sure, an escort. And they were like, what kind? And we were like, woman would be great. And we were like, okay. And they were like, well, what do you want her to look like? Like, how about chest? And we were like, yes, absolutely chest. They say yes. And they ask for our room number and we send it. And then we decide to light up a joint. We brought a joint and we start to completely freak out. We're just
I was about to say,
holy shit, there's a fucking human being on the
what
way.
was the plan here with you and your friend? Were you gonna have a threesome?
Right.
Were you gonna take turns?
What I thought in my head was one of us would do it and then the other one would come in, and we never chose who would go
Thank
first.
God women can have multiple orgasms. Am I right?
Well, I'm gonna need someone else to finish me off.
It was all about her. We were like, how are we going to make her have fun?
Yeah.
And so we just start freaking out. We're like, oh, fuck. Like, and then after a little while, we're like, we can't do this. Like, this is too scary. There's a woman coming, and we call back, and they were like, no, it's too late. They're on the way. And this was like 2002, 2003.
Wow.
So it wasn't like they were just going to like text them and make them come back there. So they were like, no, sorry. And then we're like, okay, fine. And we just get more scared and more scared. And I remember we hear the knock at the door, and my friend opens the door. I was like, I can't get near the door. And I was like, just tell her to go home. And he opens the door, and she's just standing there, and she's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And he goes, and he just freaks out and he doesn't know what to say and he closes the door on her. And I was just like, oh no, what do we do? And
Meanwhile,
I went out there.
she's spiraling because she's like, "What
came
the
all the way
fuck
here.
did I look
felt
like?"
bad, and I was like, come in. And I was just like, let's just hang out for a little bit. And she was like, okay. And she was like, what do you guys do? And for some reason, we said we're writers for The Daily Show. I don't know why. We were just like, this is a cool job.
No, yeah,
so we were like,
that's actually
we're
a
writers for The
brilliant
Daily Show.
sort of lie to tell in that era.
As if she fucking gave a shit what we did.
She's like, I thought Jon Stewart came up with that on the fly.
She's like, I actually have a lot of friends in the writers' room at the Daily Show.
Yeah, I know everyone there. Yeah.
And we just didn't know like what to say and not offend her to send her home. So I was like, all right, I know what to do. And I went next door to my dad and I knocked on the door and I was like, Papa, there's a prostitute in our room and we don't know what to do. And we just don't want to have sex with her. And he goes, send her to my room.
Amazing.
I'll take care of it. And we did.
no.
And then we just listened to him have sex for like an hour. And it was
An hour?
like an hour.
Your dad
The
is
stamina on this man.
And it made me actually like kind of respect him a little bit that like he got me out of that situation.
Yeah. I mean, what a burden you put on your dad in that
I can't
situation.
believe you're doing this.
God.
It's a real Michael Imperioli,
Yeah.
White
Yeah.
Lotus situation.
I gotta wonder from her perspective if like she got there and she was like, this is why they call it work, Or
Oh,
like,
I think this was like before I sent her into my dad's. She was like, "This is ideal. We're just gonna talk for
exactly,
a
Yeah.
bunch of time."
Fantastic.
But she was really nice.
And then you said,
I don't
to
know
the
her name.
papa,
Yeah.
And she said,
Going
She's
in,
like, oh no.
Papa,
Yeah.
I don't want to have sex with the prostitute. Oh, fuck.
Do it myself. No.
was your dad still married to your mom at this point?
No,
Oh, okay. So
No.
thank God
They were
you didn't.
divorced.
That would have been real strange.
yeah,
I
they got
would've
divorced a
hated
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But listen to the podcast. There's
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot more to that story.
well, I hope you find him. Barry,
He's dead now.
yeah.
So.
did you learn something from this situation that you have carried on with you to now your very successful 16-year-long relationship?
That my dad grunts a lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Bad dates. Bad dates.
Will Miles, final storyteller of the day. Will, as we learned on Julia Rossi's episode, you're very, very happily married,
Yes.
father, husband, and I know. I know your MO prior to this marriage, but give the listeners a little peek into what the Will Miles experience was before you met
What's
your
funny
wife.
about that is that you saying that to her actually helped quite a great deal. She was like, I don't know, he's going to want to be like serious. And you were like, oh, no, he's a whore. Which I was.
Were you? I don't see that.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny,
mean,
yeah.
I was. But I was like a nice, gentle whore.
Yeah, no, you weren't leaving a like destruction in your wake.
Right, yeah.
Like
yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
positive,
why I don't
yeah.
think a lot of people knew that.
Yeah.
Because you really, especially like in our circles, I think only were really aware of the people who were leaving devastation in their wake.
Yes.
And,
absolutely.
like-
and there were lots.
And now
And,
they're
yeah, and there were plenty. And I
Yeah,
think you were
yeah.
always like pretty discreet and fun. So
Yeah.
it, like,
But not like cancelable level.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
No.
It was a lot of like, we still talk today kind of
Great.
situations.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of them were at your wedding.
We've been to their wedding.
Exactly.
No, but I was out there. The thing is, I was a late bloomer. I didn't lose my virginity till like 19. I guess that's late. You
I
just said
don't know
this
if that's
exact
late.
same age.
I was late
I don't know if that's late for
Normal.
most
It seems
people. I
pretty
think
normal.
That's pretty normal.
It, I will say in Chicago public high schools, that was not considered.
Yeah, no, that's
was
fair.
considered late.
Wait, and are we talking like full on virginity? Had you done anything before?
I had
19?
made out. I got a hand job, but before that, nothing else.
Okay.
And so that 19 was the first time I had sex at a party. And then I
Circled right back
Cheers.
around on hand jobs, I have to say. I don't know how that is for you guys, but like being in a long term relationship, sometimes like sex is like you want to do the full thing,
Yeah.
but some like we've brought back hand jobs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes
really
you don't want to go through all the whole
Lindsay
thing.
Lohan and pan jobs are back.
There, it's 2002 all over again. It's like,
Okay, so this is all well and good, but what's the bad date story?
yeah. Right. The show. So the bad date story was in Chicago, of course, and a lot of Chicago date stories begin with alcoholism. So we were all drinking a lot. And I remember this one girl who was just around comedy. Again, I don't know what her relationship to comedy was, but she was at a few shows. And she had dated one other comedian whose name I probably shouldn't say, but I don't know. But
Okay, yeah.
who's out here, I think. You might.
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, but he was like, don't date that girl. I dated her for like a few weeks. And I was like, oh, I think Maddie may have mentioned that. That's cool. We were at some random show. And then I was like, okay, like, but she likes me. I'm going to probably hang out with her. And so, so I did. And then he was like, I saw him again after I like sort of exchanged numbers with the girl. And he was like, that girl, we went on a date one time and she locked herself in the bathroom, kept threatening to kill herself.
Ooh.
And until I came in and like consoled her. And then that's when I knew we were done. And then I was like, I kind of already made a date.
Where did you
gonna
take
honor the
her?
date. Maybe you had a bad date. Like, so I went out with her. And it was one of those all night things. Like I think she came to a show and then we hung out afterwards at one of those shitty bars that everyone goes to. And then I forget where she lived, but it must have been near Zany's or something. And maybe my show was at Zany's or something. But we went home to her place, hung out for a while. She was cool. She drank a lot. She may have done like another drug that was one of those things that you think about where you're like, oh, that, like maybe cocaine. Either way, I wasn't really into it, but you're like, that might be her journey. I got to figure that out. You know, like problematic cocaine. Not like just like a bump
Not
here
me.
and there like everybody
No,
would
she's
do.
like boofing it because she has
Yeah.
a hole in her nostril.
Yeah.
She's putting it in a spoon and eating it up.
It's like, that's weird. That's too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah.
Like comedy, sometimes you'll see it out and you might be like, yeah, sure, why not? But I'm like, you love it.
Yeah.
In a way that's like way different. And so I remember
Bitch,
that.
it's a Wednesday.
Yeah. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. It was summertime, but it was still like a weekday.
And you're hiding it from
And you're
me.
hiding it. That's
You're
the
doing
thing.
it
Like
secretly.
it's weird. So then like we woke up, whatever. She started drinking right away. So I just game plan with her. You know, I'll drink right away too. And then we like get up, we walk around. I think we eat breakfast somewhere. But again, most of the night I'm still drunk, so it's like kind of a blur. But I know we ended up at Old Town Pub, walking in it in daylight. It was definitely daylight
Woof.
outside.
That hurts.
And we're going into a bar as part of this like 24-hour date and like making out hard, like in a crazy drunk way. at like 3 p.m. And I was a teacher in the neighborhood, so it probably looked horrible. But, but we were like making out in the bar, making out to the point where they had to be like, stop, we need to get your drinks. And then I look over and there's my 7th grade music teacher.
Oh my God.
And it's of note because like 2 weeks before this, he was on the cover of the Tribune for pedophilia.
Whoa.
And I hadn't seen him since. And obviously. And so I was like, oh man, is that like my teacher, my old teacher who just he was in there drinking at 3 p.m.
Wow.
As you do when you've been accused of credible pedophilia charges. And so then he like starts crying.
Oh
when he
no!
sees me. He looks across the bar, whispers something to his friend. I think he said like, that's one of my old students or something.
The one that got away.
Missed opportunity. Looks like he's game for anything right now.
That's the one that's going to end me. That's the end of the podcast, everybody.
But he definitely cried, and then like I think he might have even bought me a shot. I don't know. Yeah, like it was a strange move, but it was like, you know, at this point I'm 25 or something. So
There's no rule book for that situation, I got to say.
I know, right? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I got to take it. He's sad and crying. He is also a problem to young boys when we were kids, I guess. But I did the shot and then like continue making out with her. But after that, I know something clicks in my head. I'm like, a lot about this is not right. Where you're just like, every part of this situation, like he was right. I should not have gone on this date with this woman. She's obviously, she didn't bring this part of the insanity, but it feels par for the course for this rest of this night.
She puts you in a situation where, like only at a Old Town pub during the day
at 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Would you run into a former like teacher who is also a pedophile?
So true.
You know, like had you not gone on this date, you never would have been in this situation.
Exactly. So true. But yeah, it was a weird moment, and like that music teacher was a really good music teacher. So it's like,
wow.
I think about his.
What happened to the music teacher? Is he okay?
I have not been able to track whether or not he's in jail.
Oh,
but it's something that all of our parents are checking all the time.
All the time?
All the time. They get so mad whenever I bring them up.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about music again?
Yeah. It's like parents are so mad at him, and rightfully so. I mean,
That seems like an understatement, actually. It feels like the entire culture writ large is kind of mad at him. I'm a little mad at him, honestly.
The guy taught you the flute. Just get over it.
Oh my God.
That was an incredibly gripping story from start to finish. And it really makes me grateful to know that you are not doing that anymore. Julia's never going to put you in a situation where you're going to run into a former pedophile in your life.
Current pedophile, former.
Oh, right.
That's the name of his new album.
Probably current pedophile. I don't know. Allegedly current pedophile, yeah.
Bad dates.
Really, really a wonderful crop of stories this week. I can't believe we're already at the end. Laura Peak, where can the people find you? What are you doing these days?
Yeah, I'm on the road through the end of the year. Come see me. I got dates in Toronto and Florida and New York and Denver and Chattanooga.
Whoa.
That's a weird collection of cities.
Yeah, but I love it.
And
Highly
you can
recommend.
Find all of that at Laura, Laura, Peak, Peek, comedy.com and at Laura Peak Live on Instagram.
Amazing. Barry Rothbart, what are you doing these days? Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Barry Rothbart, Rothbart, everywhere. I don't know why I'm so bad plugging anything. I feel really silly. And then Searching for Alan Rothbart is an Audible original docuseries where I investigate my dad's crimes, and it's wild, and that's out now.
Sounds like something I would like to watch, and Julia would not.
Yeah.
You know? Listen to documentary. Listen to.
And Wolf of Wall Street is still streaming. Everywhere you get Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Everywhere you get your Wolf of
Highly
Wall
recommend if you haven't seen it.
Barry breakdance with Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's never too late. It's
That
never
meme,
too late.
that meme follows
meme,
me
you're in that
everywhere.
meme, yeah.
And finally, Will Miles, what are you doing these days? Where can the people find you?
You can catch me at, I don't know if you bleep it, but Husky Nigga Fits on Instagram.
And you chose
not.
the name.
We will not.
And HuskyNiggaFits.com.
I mean, if I said it, then yeah, we probably have to bleep it. But you are allowed.
You're making it hard to have word of mouth advertising.
The right people will get it.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Will's?
It's basically, as a big guy for a lot of my life, style choices that I make and like general studies of style.
Yeah, no.
For big
the
dudes.
fits are always on fire. I love it.
you.
I wouldn't describe them the way you do. But, that's not for me to say or judge. So, you guys, that has been another episode of Bad Dates. I'm your host, Joel Kim Booster. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back every week with more Bad Dates stories. If you liked what you heard today, please give us a rating and review wherever you're listening to this. It helps people find the podcast. And I just, point of order really quickly, I have been seeing people requesting that we not interrupt each other while we're telling our stories on this podcast. And I'm here to tell you that is not the point of this podcast.
Oh my God.
May I suggest to you perhaps the moth? If you'd like an uninterrupted story
Joel, I'd
from
like
start
to cut in and
finish.
just say that I really agree with that point of view.
So God bless you. I understand if that's not your vibe, but we'll never change. We will never change. In fact, I have been instructed to interrupt people here. It is part of my job description. So stop yourself from leaving that review if you are about to. Other than that, we'd love to hear any and all feedback as long as it's positive. I cannot wait to speak to you all next week. Goodbye.
Bad Dates is a production of Smartless Media, created by Robert Cohen. Executive producers are Robert Cohen and Stuart Bailey. Produced, edited, and engineered by Devin Torrey Bryant. Produced by Ann Harris. Edited by Kyle McGraw. Associate producer is Maddie McCann. Social media producer is Tommy Galgano. Executive producers are Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, and Jason Bateman. Executive producers for Smartless Media are Richard Corson and Bernie Kaminsky. Music by Kushi and Evan Schletter. If you've had a bad date or would like our advice on any dating issues, please tell us about it at baddatespod@gmail.com or call us at 984-265-3283. That's 984-265-3283. That's all for this week. We will be back for more
Bad Dates.